Life goes by instantly. It's like, will I see this person? Will I ever talk to this person again? If this was the end, was I the person that I really wanted to be all my life? I was not ready to die yet. I have too many things to do.
The possibility of not surviving was not a thought in my mind, but neither was the thought of living. It was just a peace that was over me, and I was ready to accept whatever was going to happen.
Two Tango Alpha, is he still flying?
Still flying.
I reached over and held the hand of the lady next to me and prepared to be a dead man.
Going down.
Two Tango Alpha, roger.
At 3:30 p.m., music industry executive Neil Lasher is in his 27th floor home overlooking the Hudson.
I'm looking out my window and I see a passenger jet coming right past the window, and it wasn't heading up and it wasn't heading straight, it was heading down. Oh my God, something's going on here. It was unbelievable.
I had no idea when the impact was going to come or how much time I would have. I didn't expect there to be anything after.
It was just this tense waiting. When are we going to hit?
Satch's going down.
Roger.
It was a hard hit. Absolutely the hardest landing I've ever been in.
We hit the water, and you could feel a definite jarring.
My knee hit my sternum and actually cracked my sternum. But it was just a jerking motion, and then it was just slowing down, and the plane actually groaned. You know, it was whoa.
In the water.
Roger.
I thought it was going to break apart. I thought it was going to blow up. I had no idea.
Calls to 911 pour in from all over the city.
911 operator wants to know about the emergency. A plane just crashed into the Hudson River. Okay, just passed. It went into the Hudson River? Yeah, an airplane just crashed into the Hudson River. Operator 139, where's your emergency?
A plane has just crashed into the Hudson River. Oh my gosh.
I was giddy with excitement. We're not dying today.
What nobody knows is that the impact caused a breach near the plane's tail. And that's not all. The Airbus is equipped with a system that seals all the aircraft's vents and outlets to stop it taking on water after ditching. The procedure calls for one of the pilots to press the ditch button above their head. But on Flight 1549, nobody pressed it.
There simply wasn't enough time to press the ditch button. The fact that they got as much done with the amount of time available is unbelievable.
When the engines failed, the co-pilot worked through a 3-page technical checklist in a desperate bid to restart them. It's the right procedure, but it's designed for a descent from 35,000 feet, not 3,000.
The ditch button is at the very end of this particular checklist. They simply didn't have time to get to it.
Now, with power to the controls lost, the switch will no longer work. This and the impact damage mean that water is flooding into the plane. The captain of Flight 1549 has saved his plane with an incredible feat of flying. But in the heart of New York City, the passengers and crew must now cheat death for a second time.
As the water is coming in so quickly, I'm starting to think, I may be drowning. This may be, you know, we've survived the crash, but now we're going to drown.
Saturday's going down.
Roger.
In the water.
Roger.
Having survived a forced landing in the Hudson River in New York City, the passengers and crew on board Flight 1549 remain in deadly peril. Thousands of gallons of water are flooding into the plane. No one knows it yet, but in just 24 minutes, the cabin and wings will be fully submerged. Anyone still on board will drown in the icy waters of the Hudson.
Get me a police department helicopter if you got one on your frequency. Very good. Get me a police department helicopter if you got one on your frequency right now.
We don't have one now. We'll make a call.
You get anybody. You send them right over to the Lincoln Tunnel. We had a Cactus Airbus go down in the water.
He's actually went down?
He went down in the Hudson River, being the Intrepid there. He's sending out the rescue. Everybody's been notified, and just be careful with your arrivals, okay?
Okay, good.
Mike Whiskey.
Within a minute of ditching, news of the incident is relayed to the crews of the Hudson's commuter ferry services.
We got a call over the radio, plane in the water. So immediately I grabbed the radio, I said, we're on it.
Do you have that Cactus in sight?
No, the Cactus is gone. He's down in the river right now.
Vincent Lombardi's boat, the Thomas Jefferson, is the nearest to the sinking airliner.
US Airways jet down in the Hudson River.
It's flooded with emergency vehicles of all kinds. Fire trucks,
Airbus 320 with more than 100...
He immediately heads towards it, but it will take him nearly 4 minutes to get there, and for some passengers, that might be too late.
I looked over to the left at the window, and all I could see was water. So I actually thought we were underwater.
First-class traveller Barry Leonard is in seat 1C.
The flight attendant said, take off your seat belt and go to the nearest exit. Well, for me, that was 2 steps, one forward, one to the left. I'm at the door. And I actually looked down in my seat to see if my body was there.
Laurie Leitner is one of the first passengers to reach the exits over the wings.
I was at the door, I saw the water in front of me.
CCTV footage shows the first passengers spill out onto the wings. But Laurie thinks the plane is about to sink.
People behind me saying, we have to get out of the plane, get out of the plane, get out of the plane. So I jumped in the water.
The water is only 2 degrees above freezing, and Laurie has no life jacket.
All I could think of from the moment I jumped in was I have to get out of the water.
At the front, Barry Leonard faces a dilemma. The escape chute, which doubles as a life raft, fails to open.
And all of a sudden she said, jump, jump, jump. I looked at the water, and then I jumped out, just straight out. Unfortunately, I didn't have a life vest. I didn't have a seat cushion. I had nothing. I've never experienced anything as cold as that in my life. I knew from reading that I probably had 5 minutes before I started to lose my faculties.
At the back of the plane, the situation is critical. Water is flooding the rear, causing it to sink. And both exit doors are submerged, so can't be opened. Vicky Barnhart is in the back row.
As the water is coming in so quickly, I'm starting to think, this may be how I'm dying now. I'm going to drown. It just felt like it was getting deeper and deeper. And I remember just thinking, I have to tell my family goodbye. I flipped open my phone. I knew it would just take 2 pushes of a button to call my husband, and that's what I did. Of course, I got